When did I start thinking that I'm so old? And what am I going to do? Because I'm only 41.
Right.
Am I going to live this existence of I'm past my prime for the next 40 years? And then when I'm 80, I'm going to think to myself, like, how old will I be then? Dust?
Welcome to Unstoppable at Any Age. I'm Dr. Shawna Darou, naturopathic doctor, master's athlete, and founder of a global movement helping women train for their future health. This podcast exists for one reason: to expand what you believe is possible with age. Each week, I sit down with women who are redefining the trajectory of their lives, athletes, scientists, founders, and leaders who are continuing to build strength, performance, and momentum in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond. Along the way, we explore the science of metabolic health, movement, and longevity, and the daily decisions that protect your brain, your body, and your future. Because how you move today determines how you live tomorrow. This is Unstoppable at Any Age. All right, so welcome to Unstoppable at Any Age. I'm Dr. Shawna Darou, and today I'm with a fantastically inspiring woman, Anne Matthews. She's a fertility-focused acupuncturist, now based in Oakville, mom of 6, podcast host of Trying to Be Positive, and a professional Hyrox athlete. Thank you, Anne. I'm so grateful you're here with me today. And I know you've just squeezed me in on a little bit of a break. And we've met in person once, and I follow you online, and I'm constantly in awe of all that you do. You are the most heartfelt practitioner I know, and I know so many women and couples you have impacted. But today we're going to be talking about you personally and how you hold this incredible capacity, like personally, professionally, athletically. So thank you and welcome.
It's so interesting because I genuinely was reflecting before we got on about how it was the strangest thing. I was thinking about what am I going to wear? Because most of the time I'm in scrubs. I'd say that 85% of my life is spent now in scrubs. At work, and then I come home, I wake up, realize I'm still in scrubs, get changed. I don't have an elaborate like facial routine like my children. I was thinking, I was like, what do I have really to say about me? Do you know what I mean? It was so interesting because even with my Hyrox athletic endeavors, it was something I forced myself to start doing a year and a half ago when I realized that my children asked me, what do you do for fun? What would you do if you had a day just to do something for fun? And my like knee jerk reaction was like, work. She said, looked at me with like such horror, like Peter Pan syndrome started like filling her body. I could see her now becoming one of these people who's going to live in my basement forever because of the impacts that I've now had on her, what it is to be an adult. And so I'm so excited to discuss this because I don't even know where we're going to land. This is
Awesome.
therapy, Shawna.
This is
This
therapy.
is.
Okay, awesome. Because from the outside, it just looks like you've got this amazing capacity and a drive. And why Hyrox? How did you land on that?
No, it was one of my patients who said that her sister was doing a weird athletic event in Toronto. And she was surprised that I wasn't going to do it because of the style of workout that I have been doing with my energy makeover, which is like cross between aesthetics, some of the CrossFit counting without the CrossFit perpetual injuries,
Right.
and running. And so she described it, and I was like, oh, so there's 8K like that is wrapped up in this, and no gymnastics. But no, it's just like some basic strength and some plyometrics, which I like to do anyway. But yeah, it's a kilometer between each thing. I thought, I think I could be pretty good at that because I'm a good runner, but I get bored. So when I was training for like half marathons, like I'm always in awe of you, especially when I learned that you do a lot of your training on the treadmill. It
Last
was
year.
honest to God, the idea, but sometimes I will hype myself up and get myself excited to go on the treadmill that I think about you because the idea of it is actually take my fingernails off first, please. You know what I mean? So I get so bored with just running. And so I was like, oh, this will spice things up. And something has a purpose. Okay, I can do long runs. If I know that the reason for the long run is to train for X, I can do it. And it's okay, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna do it away. I'm not gonna do it in Canada. I'm going to go to New Zealand. And I'm gonna do it there alone by myself. Before I could convince myself out of it, I signed up for it. Spent all this money, which I never do, and put it up on my bulletin board, and then it had to happen. So I pushed myself to the top of the diving board and just waited for the lineup of kids behind me. I gotta
I
go.
love that.
I jump.
No, there's nothing like setting a wild goal and then holding yourself to it, right? Like it makes every day have purpose and you're going to find time to put those workouts in. Where if you look at your life, there really isn't the time to train for this.
No,
Yeah.
no, there's not. You have to give yourself a scary goal, pressure.
No, I can't even
pressure
tell you how
train.
many times I've done that. That's when I set the Boston Marathon goal when I turned 50, right? I
Yes.
said, I'm going to run Boston for my 50th. All I'd done is a 10K before that. It was a stretch to qualify and then get there. But I got a coach and a trainer and a dietitian and I did the work and I held myself to that goal. And it's so satisfying.
I think one of the themes of my existence right now is convincing myself that I'm not as old as I think. Because it's interesting. I was having this conversation with my husband in the terms of the expectations that women have placed upon them on an invisible level is so interesting. There's the most recent controversy with the American hockey team where they were in the locker room. Trump said something obnoxious. No one expects anything different from Trump. But I think the world expected something different from these boys. And it was so interesting to me that everybody around me and on social was so up in arms about it. They were so upset about it. They couldn't believe the way that they had reacted. And I wasn't shocked. Zero. I was like, of course, I'm so used to being in locker rooms and having people expect less from me. And then just rising to the occasion anyway. And I was putting all of these pieces into this interesting new context of my life where I talk to it all day long. I'm in fertility. And so I talk to women all day long about how they're not as old as they think and how their age is not the only driver of their egg quality and how they have a lot more control than they think and how venture capital fertility clinics are in the business of making you think that you're old and past due and you're in trouble and you better act fast. Like it's the ultimate car salesman tactics. Like you've got this many days. And I thought to myself sometime last year, but more recently, even like when coaxing myself each day, I'm like, when did I start thinking that I'm so old? And what am I going to do? Because I'm only 41.
Right.
So am I going to live this existence of I'm past my prime for the next 40 years? And then when I'm 80, I'm going to think to myself, like, how old will I be then? Dust? Do you know what I mean? It's like, at what point am I the actual right age? Like, you're too young for most things until you're about 25. And then when you're 25, you have 5 years to get your life in order. And then by the time you're 32, you're too old.
Yeah.
Like, we cannot win. And so
I know so many women who peaked in their 40s.
But this is exactly it. Like,
yeah,
we're told we can't win. We're told we're too old. We're told we're second best. And one side of things, you're like, no, I don't believe that. Like, I'm a strong feminist. have these deep-seated beliefs in myself. But then on the other end, like, the other side of that pain, you're not acting like it. Like, you're acting like, oh, you're a mom, you have responsibilities, put your kids first, work comes first, patients come first. You can't have personal goals. What do you mean you want to go back to school? What do you mean you want to go across the world? What's going to happen with your children? Can your husband actually take care of them? Like, it's so wild. And I threw that out the window last year.
I know,
It's
it's
like,
amazing.
yeah, let's see if you can take care of them.
They did okay.
I'm leaving the nest. I'm going.
But this is what you want your kids to see. Like you want them to see you chasing your goals, and you want them to see that you are living a happy, fulfilled life and not
Yeah.
sacrificing everything for their happiness as well. I think you can hold both of those dualities at the same time. I think a lot about aging, and every decade I have a new conversation with myself about what does this mean. And
Yeah.
honestly, my running times, my PBs were all at age 50, all
Yes.
of them except one. And now I'm chasing some on the track, which I don't have anything to compare to because it's all new for me. But I surround myself with masters athletes who are doing amazing things in their 60s. There are some in their 70s. The woman who just got an award yesterday from Great Britain as she got the World Masters Recognition Award is 76 right now, and she started doing park runs at 67. Do you know how many gold medals this woman has?
Yeah.
Like,
No, this is
we
it.
just need these little seeds in our head that it isn't too late, that you still have amazing capacity. And did you ever imagine your body would look and feel like this at 41?
Honestly, I was hoping for better, but
That's awesome.
that's on me. I just need to work on the diet part. My water and my get the protein down pat. That's I think it's so funny. Everybody's now in the last 2 years, everybody's been really interested in protein.
Yes.
And I'm like, I guess I'm a rebel. I'm now interested in carbohydrates because I'm like, I've always been interested in protein. Protein's no problem. If you force me to have potatoes, I will fall asleep within moments.
Oh,
Like I
wow.
have, yeah, I know I have to strategically place my carbs, and I had to.
Yeah.
I'm slowly trying to build them up because I need them. I hate them.
Wow. Nobody says that.
I know they take so much work. They're like a lot of chewing. Protein for me, I can drink it. It's almost all of my protein is like in powdered form, which as a naturopath, you're probably like shuddering at that thought. It is true. That ATP Labs Beef Supreme, it's my life.
Oh, that's awesome. You already got the protein memo, but yeah, with all of that run training that goes with your practice right now, you do need some carbohydrates. And, what I found is that, especially like post menopause for me, my glycogen stores don't stay filled up unless I'm really replenishing a lot. So the timing and the need for carbohydrates changed a lot, especially with intense workouts.
Yes,
So
it's terrible.
yeah, I know. It's been a bit of a learning curve for me. Whenever my sleep goes off, the first thing I look at is fueling, and it's usually
Yes.
carbohydrates.
Yeah, I fell asleep in Arizona before my race with a grilled cheese sandwich in my hand. It was like woke up like this. Just I looked over and was like, I've never been sexier. Like this life is disturbing. I took a picture, I sent it to my partner, and she was like, good. This is good. We'll be fine. I hope you finish that sandwich. I did at 3
Awesome.
a.m. Well,
So, what was the last race that you did?
so I went to Phoenix at a whim with she's my Hyrox doubles partner. Her name's Lynn Sterling. She's actually an amazing OBGYN and minimally invasive gynecological surgeon at Humber.
Oh, that's awesome.
And she is a beast. It's amazing. I love the community. Everybody's always so mad at Instagram, but I don't even care about the algorithm. Like, your algorithm, take my notes. Because it sends me the most amazing humans to follow. Like, it always alerts me to your posts. Lynn's always posting her practices. I get all of these posts from all of these amazing women internationally who are kicking ass.
Yeah.
And so it's so inspiring. Energy that I didn't know I had is like soul energy. I could have almost no sleep. And if I'm properly motivated, I'll crush it. Like my wearable, my Whoop, told me I was going to die on the morning of my Phoenix rocks. It literally was like, have your affairs in order. Make sure that you call a lawyer today. Your will needs to be finalized. I was like, yep, off we go to do this Hyrox. And my partner she hyped me up. And so we went through our plan. Basically, any of the bigger strength work I would do. And she was the rabbit, if you will. It would pace our runs, which were just terrible. I think my average heart rate was 179 for an hour and 5 minutes.
That's
so like a max of 194. I was like, good thing my affairs are in order. Like, good thing my partner's a doctor.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, that she tends to brush up on CPR. So that was probably good that I didn't perish. But we actually qualified for Worlds. So we're going to Sweden in June for that.
Oh,
It's
fantastic.
exciting. Yeah. A race in 2 weeks, actually, in Mexico.
Okay.
Which when I'm telling people that because of the cartel war, I like to tell them where I'm going because I want them to assume that I'm going somewhere dangerous. So they think I'm badass. I'm not. I'm just going to Cancun, like a basic bay on spring break. And do this solo race. So we'll see how that.
That's awesome. So you got a couple more things bookmarked and training in the works. Do you have a coach who helps you with all of this?
You know what? I have a problem with that. I had coaches, and then what's the problem? The problem is that I used to be a personal trainer, and I'm a Capricorn. So these two things are problematic. Both of them are problematic. The personal training part is that I understand how trainers work, and I understand capacity. And because I know that I know myself, I had a coach and she was great, but I knew that what I was getting, 20 other people were also probably getting. But I know that when I need, like my stride is too short, I need to work on my gait. My core is weak because of diastasis recti, having 6 children. My shoulder strength is not proportionate to that of like my glutes, strengths, and my quads. The majority of athletes, I think, have weaker legs and stronger upper bodies. So if the majority of the workouts that we're getting are to strengthen legs and don't work on shoulders and traps and lat stability, I'm missing out. So I'm a coach. They don't have a coach. So I get workouts that I choose to ignore, essentially. Because I'm obnoxious and think I know best. So I tweak them as they go. I do have a trainer that I work with out of the gym, Radix, and his name is Dan. And Dan, he basically has gone through the race and identified what I suck at, and then puts me through a forced trauma each week of those exercises exclusively. So like, that's just the ergs, it's just the wall balls, and it's just the farmer's carry because he knows all the other things I like. So why would we put that in? And then for the run portion, and this is not a plug in any way, shape, or form, I have to say, in terms of apps, I have never been so satisfied with an app in my entire life.
Yeah?
You use the Runna app.
No.
Oh my God. Every part of this app is amazing. The workouts, the breakdown of strength, the tempo intervals, they have programs for marathons, 5Ks, 10Ks, even now have a Hyrox workout plan. So the only thing I will say is you should have I don't know how it caters to like a beginning program, because I think you have to have an idea of what it would feel like to run a certain pace. Although I will say that it does attach to your wearables. So if you have a watch or if you've got headphones in when you're using it, it will tell you if you're on a track, speed up, slow down.
That's awesome.
But it's amazing.
Yeah.
If you're on a treadmill, it tells you the speed that you need to be on the treadmill, and then it counts down backwards. Like I just
So
did
cool.
1K repeats this morning, and it counts out your rest, it counts out your repeats, and it puts
Nice.
it into your calendar. It will alert you obnoxiously, like 6:30 a.m. You haven't started your workout. Say, thank you. I hate you. Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. Good tip. I haven't used that one because I've had real live coaches for a while. And
Yeah.
yeah, for running, I just follow their programs right now. Yeah.
It's honestly, I think that is the number one, because then I can watch you and tell you what you need to work on
Yeah.
in terms of like form, and
Yeah.
it's feedbacks that I'm like a rough go and alter
Yeah.
your training. But this, if you are just
Mhm.
using it as a standard, and I
Yeah.
think it
Yeah.
allows, yeah,
That's so
like
cool.
a
I've
new,
certainly done that before. I've had the luxury of having a coach, and my criteria is always choosing someone who's older than me and faster than me so that my brain doesn't think I know better too. Because I totally get that.
it's so bad. It's honestly, it's such a problem.
I do see
I know.
that. Amazing. I love what you're up to, and I just think it's great that you're traveling around the world doing these races. It's super inspiring. You're in your 40s, you got 6 kids. How do you juggle it all? Like really? Like where does this fit in?
Like my children, it's interesting. You said something earlier in the interview, which I think is so true. I think they will value me in time. Right now, I think they think about I do in terms of traveling and competing, almost as if it's a little selfish, because they have friends that have moms that don't do that. Moms are waiting eagerly at the school for pickup, and they drop them off and they have them make their own snacks. And they will tell me this. They're like, "Oh, mom, they're there at school. Mom comes to do all the field trips. They come and can you do that too?" And I used to let it really eat at me. And I compared myself to a lot of moms. And but then I just got used to telling them, you have the luxury of having 5 siblings. So and so's mom might be there to cater to them, and that's their win. Your win is when you get home, you have, which you probably don't see right now as a win, but you have 5 other siblings who you can hang out with and you can talk and joke with and play around with. And I have to do things for me. I have to do things for my work. I have to do things for my patients. Like I'm very much as I think it's important that I'm in service to myself, before that, I must in service to myself so that I can be of service to others. And I
Yes.
really push that that like I don't want you to live this life thinking that it's just about having fun. And I know that sounds really intense, but I'm like the whole point of being alive
Hmm.
is to be in a community and to be of service to other people. So if right now inspiring someone, one person get themselves up out of a rut, because I was definitely in a rut 2 years ago, then hooray. Then you spending less time with me as your mother, like you have to appreciate that we can't just hole out inside this house and have me into these domestic tasks I just don't feel fulfilled by. And if someone does, I really appreciate that. My husband is actually pretty domestic, and I really appreciate that in him. And I really appreciate that in my friends who really enjoy that. I don't like do I love having children, but I don't love being a stay-at-home mom. That's just
Yeah.
not for me. I can't do it. I won't do it. And part of that, my responsibility has to be in informing them. I don't skirt away from it, whereas I
Hmm.
used to. I still make excuses and say, "Oh, well, I have to work so I can support our family." But I'm like, "No," because then they're gonna think of work as something that's just
Hmm.
done to make money. I'm like, "No, I go to work because I'm helping people."
And you are. You make such impact.
Blessed. And that's but honestly, like, it's in practitioners like you, practitioners, Megan Walker, like, that used to when I was, like, a baby practitioner, I was like, "Okay, this is who I'm looking up to. These are women that I want to be like." Because I would have patients coming to me who are like, "I was broken before I saw Dr. Darou. My GI was broken. I, like, couldn't function. I had 20 bowel movements a day." I'm like, "God, I hope you don't have these expectations of me. I cannot fix that."
Gosh,
Ah,
the number of babies you've helped people to bring into the world, it's astronomical and incredible. And now almost every time that somebody comes to me and they said, I worked with this incredible acupuncturist, it's always you.
good. That's so cute. Wow. That's so nice.
Yeah, because now I
Wow,
see them
what
on
a
the other side with their perimenopause.
yes. Wow, that's so full circle. Wow,
It's completely
yes.
full circle. I used to do a lot of work with fertility as well, but my practice has aged as I have. And I'm
Yes.
always like, I'm like one step ahead of everyone else, and they're all in perimenopause right now. So that's what I do. Still some fertility, but the perimenopause stuff I love because it's like our bodies are changing, but it
Yeah.
doesn't mean that there isn't a new roadmap, right? It's just you've probably noticed that even in the past few years, your body responds differently to nutrition, to training, to recovery, to sleep than it did before. And yes, there's like a lot of other factors on the table here, but I actually love that, like navigating.
My hypochondria has been just a whole new level. But that's good news. Never dying, just perimenopause. That's my new tagline. Okay. Probably not death, probably just perimenopause. But I think it's really important the work that you're doing with perimenopause because I just did a podcast actually with Nikki from the Bell Method because we were both part of this horrific panel. Mm, I feel like it's really interesting that everybody these days, nobody wants to talk about things that are bad or good. Everybody just wants to be neutral about everything.
Mm,
And I don't live in that world. Like,
yes.
I appreciate judgment, even if it's coming towards me, because then I can alter my behaviors on a conversation where someone's giving me constructive criticism. Whereas now everybody has to just pretend that everything has a place at the table. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. We were sitting at this horrific table, if you will, and we were the two practitioners who were not medical doctors. And it was so bizarre because the medical doctors were suggesting that you could just, on symptoms alone, prescribe estrogen and have that be the be all and end all for your perimenopausal solutions. No labs need to be ran. No conversations need to be had about lifestyle. What
Mm.
exercise? Who needs it? You just need HRT. It's like, where am I? Because no one and everybody was sitting in the audience just like zombies. If you give someone an easy solution and they want an easy solution, they're going to be thrilled.
Of course.
Nobody wants to say, you know what? You have to get 10,000 steps in. You need to have your labs run. Maybe you're anemic. Maybe your
Yes.
thyroid is whack.
Yes.
It's not necessarily just perimenopause. Like you need to be looked at as an individual. And
Mm.
I feel thank God for you. Thank God for what you're doing because it's going to be a spring in a desert. I'm telling you, like, that's a good analogy actually for perimenopause, but like,
Yes.
it is literally the only moisture in this godforsaken dry land of HRT, which has a place
Of
for
course it
sure.
does.
Has a
But it's
place.
not the only answer. And like every other system is affected as the hormones start to swing. So just addressing the estrogen does not correct the metabolic changes. It doesn't replace the exercise in terms of maintaining your muscle and building your bone density. It'll help a little bit, but it doesn't do it on its own.
No,
It's
weird. Like
like,
I'm
yeah,
genuinely scared for the future
yeah,
because of this Instagram world of peptides, HRT,
mm,
and GLP-1s.
it's a little
Like,
scary. And you put it all
what
together.
the
Whew.
oh my God.
Yes,
Like
it's very scary.
I people don't people need a healthy dose of hypochondria. People need to understand what
Yeah.
cells can do when allowed to run rampant in a world where you have removed checks and balances. Like
Yes.
your body has a metronome and it is supposed to move at a certain speed. If
Hmm.
you are then increasing that speed while also reducing the capacity of an immune system, for example, but
Right.
is previously keeping, let's just be wild and crazy, your cancer cells in check. Like, need I say more? I'm just like, I'm
I
scared.
know.
And
No, so
my
I'm
soul
seeing
is
a
just
lot of
like,
shortcuts. And at the same time, I am so grateful that people know what perimenopause is and they come in with the conversation and the knowledge that their body is changing and there's something they can do about it. The talking them down from quick fixes a lot of the time is complicated because I can't even tell you how many times people at 40, 41, 42 are asking me for estrogen without doing anything else, and I won't do it. Yes, it might be part of a protocol, but for me, there's another bunch of things that come first because usually what's changed isn't the estrogen, right? Usually it's they became more sedentary, they didn't exercise for a year, they snacked on the couch, their metabolic health went down, their stress went up, their sleep was off, right? It's not
mm,
an estrogen problem.
no, it's honestly, it's also interesting. I don't run into this problem in my practice because the majority of my patients aren't drinking because
Right.
when they're putting fertility first, like when they're trying, everybody
Yeah.
will put a baby ahead of themselves. But then as soon as they are done having a baby, it's now they can just throw themselves and down the stairs. Do you know what I mean? And I feel as though the majority of these patients that have come back want support postpartum a year or two later. I say to them, okay, you're having a lot of night sweats, you've got all this disrupted sleep. Why don't we get rid of alcohol for a bit? Like, let's just have a glass or two a week max. And it is as if I am asking to, I don't even know, give up air. It's so extreme. They're like, you can't expect me to do that. As if it's this really bizarre concept that I'm asking them to give up poison.
I know. And our bodies become a lot less tolerant to it through when the hormones start to shift. It just is what is. It's not a criticism of behavior. It like the sleep will get worse, the metabolic issues will get worse, the body composition will get worse. It's a definite factor, regardless of where you land on drinking or not drinking.
Said, and it's just so interesting because they will be coming in with the symptoms that are problematic and very much tied to a habit. And then you'll suggest the removal of said habit. And then they will say, my mom always had this, my dad did this, or in Europe, that's my favorite. In Europe, they drink every day, they drink all the time. They're also healthy. I'm like, arguably, maybe not.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is, I think it's so important what you're doing because it's actually adding cohesiveness to like women's health as opposed to cookie cutter smashing the square peg into the round hole, which I feel like
Yeah.
the majority of medical solutions these days, from a fertility standpoint, are now perimenopause.
Oh, it's all the same with women's health, right? There's
It's the
protocols.
same.
And I don't, as much as I've tried to, can I simplify my work into a protocol? It never works. Everything's individual. The way people are going to experience their infertility and their struggles there versus their hormonal issues versus their perimenopause is going to be a different path for all of us.
Absolutely.
So I know we need to wrap up. So I just wanted to finish with what does being unstoppable at any age mean to you?
it means constantly evaluating what age means to you and never reducing yourself to perceived limits. Constantly perceive yourself as limitless and then run up against what your current limits are, try to surpass them. Like my idea of what I could run, for example, is a 10K. I could never break 45 minutes. And then I did. And the reason I did was because I thought to myself, why not? Like, why not?
Yeah,
Why can't I?
I love that.
But genuinely, it wasn't fitness that changed, it was my mindset.
Yeah,
And so you can't do anything big without having every part of yourself, mind, body, soul on board. You've got to stop giving yourself zero credit. You have to start expecting more from yourself. Expectations and reality, and constantly resetting what that actually means.
amazing. I can't wait to see where this takes you, especially in the next year and then beyond, because I see progress through your 40s as inevitable. And while
Bless
you
you,
may,
Shawna.
but you may need to focus differently on recovery or fueling or something like that. There might need to be a shift to support your goals to get even bigger. But I think the 40s are still a time to build. So thank you so much for joining me today, Anne. I'm even more inspired than I was before. And if you want to learn more about Anne, probably the best place is to find her on Instagram. Her handle is at EnergyTreeAnne, and I will put that all in the show notes as well. So thank you again. I'm so grateful.
Thank you so much for having me.
If this conversation expanded what you believe is possible, share it with somebody who needs to hear it. And if you haven't already, follow the podcast so you don't miss future episodes. This podcast is part of a global movement called Women Who Move, helping women train for their future health through daily movement. You can join us at drshawnadarou.com. Because strength isn't behind you, it's built through what you choose to do next. I'm Dr. Shawna Darou, and this is Unstoppable at Any Age.